Good morning, everyone. And it's the return of Saturday morning story time live. Glad to have you with me. I know a lot of people watch these after the fact. I've adjusted the time. In the past, they were 9:30 a.m. EST. I'm trying 10:30 a.m. EST. Maybe some of our West Coast friends can join us live. But anyway, I'm here and it will be here when I'm done. I picked today, this is the 96th book. So this is going back to 2020 when everyone had to stay at home, and we got some emails from some friends and said, oh, our kids are going bananas, and you've worked with children and you're a writer, can you do this? So Tanya and I did a whole bunch, and I've done a bunch all by myself. So I'm going to try to get us to 100 during this winter while I'm home. I don't tour in the winter. I really hate to travel. I'm not fond of the snow. So anyway, here's the book that I chose for number 96, The King's Tea by Trinka Hakes Noble, 1979, published by Dial Press in New York. Opportunity to do a lot of voices, which I like to do and have some fun. So here we go. The King's Tea. Trina Hakes Noble, The King's Tea, the Dial Press, New York. Wonderful illustrations. There you go. So here we go. Hold on just one second. All right. So here's the setup. The king, he's ready for his tea. He's a real kind of testy sort. The king's tea had to be perfect, but sometimes things weren't just right. So each morning, the tea steward held his breath as the king took his first sip. And there is the king's steward. "Ah!" shouted the king. "This tea's not perfect. The milk, it's sour. Now my day is ruined and it's all your fault." With that, the king slammed down his cup and stomped out for a morning walk after making quite the mess. And there he is out for his walk, and his dog, which I hope he treats better than he treats his steward. The tea steward picked up the pitcher of milk and hurried off to see the cook. "Cook, I told you to get me the sweet milk. Now the king's tea's ruined and it's all your fault." The cook turned in a huff and shook a wooden spoon at the kitchen girl. "Girl, now I've told you again and again to bring me sweet milk. Now the king's tea's ruined and it's all your fault." Well, that poor girl quickly slipped out the door into the yard. So you can see where this is going. It's going to be the blame game, and I have no idea where the buck is going to stop. There she met the farmer who delivered the milk to the castle each day. "Farmer, you have delivered sour milk and ruined the king's tea. Now the cook is angry with me and it's all your fault." So there, nice scene of pulling a boat on the water in a nice classic village. And there you go, more of that. When the farmer got home, he went to the creamery to see his wife. "Wife, you gave me sour milk this morning, and I delivered it to the castle. Now the king's tea's ruined, and it's all your fault." Well, the farmer's wife turned to the boy and seized him by the ear. "Boy, listen to me well. You brought me sour milk, which I gave to my husband, who took it to the castle. Now the king's tea's ruined, and it's all your fault." Oh boy, oh boy. So, husband yells at his wife. Wife yells at the boy, who probably had absolutely nothing to do with it. The boy ran to the meadow to see the cow. "You nasty old cow. You gave me sour milk this morning, which I gave to the farmer's wife, who gave it to her husband, who took it to the castle, and now the king's tea's ruined, and you are to blame." "Don't blame me," mooed the cow. "Blame the yellow buttercups. They are not very sweet this spring, so it's all their fault." That's pretty bad when you're blaming the cow. who talked right back. So we have a little magical realism in this story. The king had also gone to the meadow that morning, and he overheard everything the boy and the cow said. "Oh, the king's tea, sour milk. Oh my," said the king. So when the boy and the cow went to see the buttercups, well, the king decided to follow. And there he is, and he's doing his thing there again. Still taking his walk with his dog, which I hope, again, he's treating better than he treat the steward. Buttercups, the cow. My milk is sour, and it's all your fault. The buttercups look shriveled and dry. "It's not their fault," said the boy. "They need the gentle spring rain to make them sweet." A dark cloud in the sky overheard the boy. "Everyone blames the weather," rumbled the cloud. "If rain is what they want, then rain is what they shall have." Don't make the weather angry. That's a little free advice from your Saturday morning storytime host. Do not make the weather angry. Best not mess with Mother Nature, like the old commercial used to say. The dark cloud moved over the buttercups and soft raindrops fell. Well, soft raindrops, that's not bad. The buttercups soaked up the sweet rain and the cow began to eat. "It's not always the weather's fault," thundered the cloud as it rolled on over the meadow. I think it was pretty decent. There it is. It doesn't look like too angry a cloud. It's just kind of rolling over the meadow and helping out. Buttercups are getting healthier. Cow's having some food. The cow ate and ate until she had eaten her way across the meadow to the spot where the king was picking buttercups. She was still hungry. Uh, "I hope you don't mind if I eat that bouquet of buttercups you're holding," said the cow, who had never before seen the king. "If you don't eat enough buttercups, my milk will not be sweet, and that would ruin the king's afternoon tea." "Why, did you say afternoon tea? Well, what a pleasant thought," said the king. "Of course you may eat my bouquet. The king's tea must be perfect." So he let the cow eat his bouquet and strolled off toward his castle. So he knows there's mayhem going on. Thought he felt a little bad about it, but apparently he doesn't, because his tea still has to be perfect. He's the king. Later that day, the boy milked the cow and carried the milk to the creamery. There, the farmer's wife strained the milk and gave it to her husband, who delivered it to the castle. The king's girl carried the milk to the cook, who poured it into a pitcher and gave it to the tea steward, who hurried off to set it on the table just in time for the king's afternoon tea. But the king didn't take his first sip right away. Instead, he invited the tea steward to join him for tea. That's pretty nice. The tea steward invited the cook, who invited the girl, who invited the farmer, who invited his wife, who invited the boy, who ran to the meadow and invited the cow, who brought buttercups for everyone. And as they took their first sip, they agreed that the king's tea was delicious. "No, no, not delicious," said the king, laughing. "It's perfect." Oh, here you go. A good story about making right about things. Those are a good one there. The king's tea. Everyone got together. The king learned a little lesson. It rained. The flowers were healthier. So that's a good one. I like it. That's the kind of thing. So I got a Mothman book as we're going, for 100. I'd really like to get to 100 books. I got a Mothman book. I got a couple of nautical books. I think Aegis McGregor, the pirate, will read those. That's always real popular when he does that. I hope everybody's staying warm. It's like single digits here coming up. Today it's actually 37 and rainy, which is a nice break from all the snow. But Tuesday night it's getting down to -10 here in Eastern Ohio, here at the Creative Cottage. So we'll have to be real cozy Tuesday night. I hope everyone is well and their year is off to a good start. Hey, Angelina, longtime fan of the show from the very beginning. Glad you could catch it live. Good to see you. All right. Well, we have a little, 11-second outro. So I'll play it and I'll see you next time on Storytime Live.